Hi, my name is Jonathan Boyd. This is an intro to power yoga class. It is a flow style class with longer and stronger holds. You don't necessarily have to be powerful to do it, but it will make you feel powerful. Please begin in Thunderbolt pose, where you sit on your heels with your shins on the ground. Join your hands together in front of your heart. Bend your elbows out to the sides and rest your thumbs to your sternum. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more like that. Set an intention today to give your fullest and best effort. Then open your eyes and make your way into all fours. Position your hands near the front of your mat with your hands as wide as your shoulders. Spread your fingers so that the fingers are just a natural extension of the bones within the hands. And then push your arms straight. Step one foot back, then the other foot back. Into plank pose right away. Plank pose is an excellent posture to build heat and get the body ready as quick as possible. What's nice about plank is you don't need to do much preparatory work to do it. And it's actually better to do early on in a practice than later because you feel strong. Notice that as time goes, the tension starts to build and the breath starts to shorten. So maintain a long, smooth breath. We've just got about 4 to 5 more hours of this. Just kidding. Take one last deep breath in, and then as you exhale, send your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Keep a slight bend in your knees and emphasize a tilting up of your sit bones. Pressing your hands down and forward, stretch your rib cage forward as you move your hips back. Then on an inhale, lift your right leg back behind you. And as you exhale, draw the knee in towards your nose. 2 more like that. Inhale, leg back. And exhale, knee in. And last one, back. And then knee in. Pause and hold the position, but not your breath. On your next exhale, step your foot forward between your hands. Pause, wait for your inhale, and then rise up. Stretch your arms high up into the air. Bending into your front knee. Keep your back leg straight and extend your heel back behind you as you reach your arms up high. To add a little more imbalance to this position, hold on to your right wrist and then arc over to the left to get a side body stretch. Then inhale, come back up, release your wrists, lower your hands down, and step back to plank pose, top of a push-up. There's different ways to do plank. Some focus on one straight line with hips, chest, head, arms. But I prefer to keep the rib cage, we'll say parallel-ish to the floor. So the hips at about the same height as the shoulders, even though the body is a little bit naturally curved. On an exhale, press back, downward facing dog again. Inhale, swing your left leg behind you. And exhale, knee into nose. Again, leg back. And knee in. And last one. Pause and hold, and then step your foot forward. Wait for your breath. Inhale, rise up. Stretch the arms high. Settle into the front leg. Push your arms straight. Again, if you'd like more spice to your practice, hold your left wrist this time and arc over to the right. Keep your chin lifted. Move your left hip down as you reach over towards the right. And then come back up. Reach the arms high. Plant your hands. Step back, plank pose. If you want to get strong really fast, do lots of planks. Plank has become the new down dog. Then I'm not sure what the new plank is though. On an exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Take a few deep cycles of breath. If you need to pedal out your dog, you're welcome to. Now, on an inhale, lift your right leg back behind you. Exhale, knee to your right arm near your elbow. And then take the leg back and do that 2 more times. Knee to upper arm. Again, back. And last time. And back. This time, step your foot forward. Reach your arms up just as before. But now join your hands together. Tilt forward. And hook your left elbow to the outside of your right knee for a lunge twist. Using the leverage of the elbow to the outside of the knee to twist your rib cage towards the right. If it's a little bit too challenging to maintain your balance, then just lower your knee down to the floor. If your knee is down, keep it down. If it's lifted, keep it lifted. Inhale, untwist, reach your arms up into the air. And then exhale, place your hands down, step back to plank pose. This time in plank pose, bring your feet together at the back of your mat and then roll to the outer edge of your right foot so that you can stack your left foot on top of your right. Place your left hand to your hip, balancing on your right hand. Side plank. Notice if your plank gets saggy. No one likes saggy planks. So push down with the feet, lift the hips up high, and then reach your left arm up high. Okay, then turn to the floor, hand down, back to plank position. And on an exhale, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, swing your left leg behind you. Exhale, knee to your upper left arm, or as close as you can get it. Again, leg back, knee to upper arm. And one more time, leg back, knee to upper arm, leg back, and finally step your foot forward. Wait for your in-breath. Reach your arms forward and up. On an exhale, join your hands together in front of your heart. Tilt forward, inhale, get long, and exhale, twist to the left this time. Sometimes instead of being in a prayer position, although I do love John Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer, I need to change it up, and I live on a fist and a hand wrapping around a fist, but it's not as catchy of a song. Living on a fist and a hand wrapped around a fist. Again, knee down or knee lifted, your choice. Whichever one you choose. Inhale, untwist. Reach your arms up. And then lower your hands down. Momentary plank. Step back with the left. Feet together. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Balance on your left hand. This time just reach your Right arm up into the air. Keep the hips up high. Push down with the left hand. Embrace any shake that might happen. You got this. You will be powerful by the end of this. Like He-Man says, I have the power. Lower your hands down, plank pose. This time adding a little bit of a flow. So lower down halfway or all the way. Point your toes and inhale for a cobra pose, or push down with your feet, lift your thighs, lift your pelvis for upward facing dog. And then flip your toes, push back, downward facing dog. This next one will get your heart rate up a little bit. It's called cat burglar, where you hop forward and then back on your mat, anywhere from 5 to 10 times. So it's just like this. Hop forward and hop back. Hop forward and back. And you can do it quick or slow. Counting out 5 to 10. Sometimes you can just pretend. And then once you're tired out, standing forward fold near the front of your mat. It doesn't have to be all the way at the very front. And bow over your legs. Inhale, place your hands to your shins. Lengthen your spine, lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold in. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and bow. And last one. Then place your hands to your hips, elbows to the sides, broaden your chest and your upper back equally. And inhale, rise up to stand. Bring your feet together. Weight your right foot. Lift your knee and hold your knee with both hands. Several stages. If you want to challenge a little bit more in a balancing pose, bend your standing leg and you'll make that leg work a little harder. Next challenge, hold underneath your thigh and drop the weight of your leg into your hands so your arms strengthen, and then kick your leg straighter with your toes pointed. Next stage, release the leg, reach your arms up, and then final stage, up and down with the left leg. You can go all the way up and touch your forehead with your toes. You've won, you've graduated, you've got the gold. And I'd love to see a video of that. Okay, lower the left foot and come right into the other side. Lift your right foot, hold on to your knee, both hands. Settle, stage 1, fairly basic balancing position. Again, you can make basic more challenging by bending the standing leg. Next stage, hold underneath your thigh and start to kick your legs straighter, pointing your toes, lifting through the crown of your head. Drop the weight of your leg into your thighs. And then next stage, unsupported arms up. And final stage, like your Karate Kid painting a fence, up and down. A little bit of an abdominal workout, and also a strengthener for your quadriceps, the front of your right thigh. Then lower your foot and immediately lift your left leg behind you and hold your foot. Reach your right arm forward in front of you, dancer's pose. Kick your foot back and tilt forward. Give your quadricep a little bit of a stretch. And then switch. Lower your left, lift your right, reach your left forward, kick your foot back, tilt forward. Okay, then lower your right foot to meet your left foot. Join your hands together, lift your heels. Begin to bend your knees, but open the knees out to the sides. It's kind of like that position. And then as you sit down lower, hook your elbows to the tops of your shins. Bring your hands down and then lean forward into your hands. If you know crow, just lift up into it. If you're learning it, lift one foot lower, lift the other foot lower, and maybe you get to a point where you can lift both feet away from the floor. Holding strong, push your arms down, pull your knees in towards each other, push your feet into each other, and then lower your feet down, stretch your legs straighter. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow in. Be near the front of your mat, and then take a big step back with your right foot. Pivot your heel down this time, so it's a little bit more difficult than the crescent pose position that you did as a lunge. And then inhale and rise up, reach your arms up, warrior one. Also more challenging than hands wide like shoulder width is join your hands together and take your arms up. Then on an exhale, bow forward, touch the floor, and begin to straighten your front leg. You might have to adjust your stance or even use a block or two to put your hands on to make it more comfortable. Push your front foot forward to put more weight into your back foot. And then keep your left hand down. Make a tack with your right thumb and put it into your hip crease. So you move your hip back as you begin to twist to the right. And then from there, reach your right arm up into the air. Or if you'd like less stretch for your arm, just put your hand to your hip. And then one more pose. So this is twisted triangle. And now twisted half moon. Move your left hand forward. Push off your back foot. Lift it into the air. Twist towards the right. Again, option arm up in the air. Or just keep your hand to your hip. Take one last deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Then turn to the floor. Bring both hands down. Bring both feet down. Bow over your legs. Halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. And exhale. Step your right foot back behind you. Setting up for warrior one. Second side. So heel down. Reach your arms up. Tight shoulders. Go wide with your hands. Even just keep your hands to your hips. Just focused on the legs. Especially if you have tighter calf muscles. I was going to say calves, but then some people own baby cows and they get confused. But calf muscles, no, nobody gets confused there. Option, of course, hands together, reach your arms up. Warrior one pose. The official mudra of warrior one is warrior one. Okay, then pyramid pose. Straighten your front leg, hinge forward, hands down. I'm on the lesser flexible side than a lot of you. You can get your forehead to your shin. You're welcome to go there. Those of you who have big shins or big foreheads have a bit more of an advantage than people like me. And then from pyramid pose, twisted triangle, keep your right hand down, tack your left hip back, work your front leg straighter, twist towards the side. And again, you can go arm up or just keep the hand to the hip. There's no pressure to go further. The arm in this case is just the icing on the cake. But you got to make sure you have the right ingredients for the cake itself, or the icing is well, I wouldn't say pointless, because I'll eat an entire bowl of icing, but it doesn't feel good to just eat icing. Okay, then move your right hand forward, push off your back foot, lift it into the air. Halfmoon pose, twist it, again arm up, or just hand to hip, twist fully. If you want to really test your balance, you can even lift the lower hand to hover. Okay, then both hands down, step back. Remember plank pose? When did plank become the resting posture? It feels that way now. And then instead of being in plank, if you need help on this, lower your knees first, but lower one elbow down and then the other elbow down. Come into forearm plank, holding strong, straight legs, push the elbows down. I like to do the fingers interlaced version because if I'm gripping too hard, I can tell because my fingers turn blue, and I'm not a Smurf, so that's bad. Or that Blue Man group, I love that group. Did they ever talk? Now, side plank on your forearm. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Stack your feet on top of each other. Lift your left arm up into the air. Want a bit more challenge, just bow down, touch the floor, lift up, and do that 3 times total. Good news is you only have 2 arms, so second side, roll to the outer edge of the left, lift the right arm up. Again, touch, reach, touch, reach, and touch, and reach. And then both elbows, lower your knees, lower your hips, point your toes. Sphinx pose. And then here in Sphinx pose, bend your left knee, turn your right forearm in and reach back. Grab hold of your foot like dancer's pose to add a thigh stretch. Okay, and then switch to the other side. Bend your right knee, reach back with the right hand, grab the foot. If you're a little more flexible, you can hold the inside of the foot with your thumb up and then bring the heel in and pivot your hand over the top of your foot to point your elbow up. It requires a little bit more of a shoulder flexibility along with flexibility to the front of your thigh. Okay, and then release your leg as smooth as you can. Barrel roll onto your back. Bend your knees, bring the heels in close to you. And then from there, lift your hips up, bridge pose. Clasp your hands behind your back. Push down with your head. Lift your chin. Making this a little bit more demanding. Bring your right knee in towards your chest and kick your right leg up into the air. Then lower your foot before lifting the other leg. Knee in and leg up. Okay, and then foot down, release your hands, lower your hips down, and then slide your left leg long, a little bit more of a relaxed version of the same pose with the legs. Lift your right leg up into the air, hold the back of your thigh. And just as you did standing, holding the back of your thigh, drop the weight of your leg into your arms and then pull your thigh bone down into your hip socket. I'd say root your thigh bone down, but I lived in Australia and that's a really bad word. Don't ever say root in Australia, whereas I live in Canada, the US, North America, root, there's nothing wrong with that word. It's what plants have. Okay, then bend your knee, hold your knee with your left hand, right arm out to the side, and take a gentle twist. So the leg goes to the left, the eyes turn to the right. And then come back up. Just shift your hips back in line with your shoulders if they went off to the right a little bit. And then extend your left leg up into the air. If you prefer to have your knee bent instead doing this, that is totally fine as well. If your knee was bent like I was showing there, just straighten your leg, bend your left knee, hold your knee with your right hand, and then move the leg over to the right. Look over your left. And final pose before resting, just bring your knees into you. Give yourself a big squeeze, self-embrace, and tone all the muscles. Curl your toes, scrunch your face, harden your arms, make your 6-pack a 12-pack. And then from there, relax. Stretch your legs out, arms alongside of you with your palms face up. And as you have this moment to rest, feel the vibration in your muscles. And going back to the very beginning, intro to power yoga. You don't necessarily have to be quote unquote powerful, but it sure will make you feel that way. Notice how this practice has lit an inner fire. Now the embers burn deep as the warmth travels through you. Thank you very much for your practice. Namaste.